powered by Riverside.
Hello, and welcome to another installation of GORP, which of course stands for Getting Out to Read Pictures. That was a fan installation. It's kind of a play on words, because today we're talking about book adaptations, book to screen, movies, TV, whatever. This is the show where we pull out of a grab bag with topics and we just talk about whatever is on theme, which, like I said, is books to film. I am one of your hosts. I am Josh.
I'm Jess.
Hello.
Yeah, you go.
Mark here, reading my first book.
Mark here.
That was a very creative way of introduce yourself, Mark. Like, oh, I didn't see you guys there. I am Fry. All right, Josh. What is going on with this?
So the idea is the point of anything is to just enjoy yourself. But mainly the theme today is just talking about books that have or have not been read by us that have turned into a movie or a show or some kind of TV special, and our feelings about those things. Jess, you get the grab bag today, is that right?
I do. And it's on topic. It is a book 10.
Ooh.
And it has all of our topics in it.
Nice.
I'm probably not going to close it again just because it's a pain in the butt. But yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
I would like to just briefly preamble. I think we're going to stick strictly with like actual books. So we're going to leave out comic book movies, superheroes and stuff, graphic novels, because that can be a whole different theme. We'll talk about that some other time soon. Same goes for like video games that turn into movies, because that's not even a book, you idiot.
Because they all suck.
Movies.
So.
Yeah,
They
mostly
over.
suck.
The first Tomb Raider with Angelina was okay, but that's a topic for another day. It was okay.
That's
It got
another
okay.
Okay. All right.
Jess, what's our first topic?
Okay, let's see. Young adult books to movies.
Ooh, young adults. Hunger Games,
Yeah.
right?
Hunger Games.
Like all of us, we're young adults.
Oh, I'm young.
Aging.
No. We're considered geriatric millennials. I hate it, but that's what they call us.
Oh, wow, that's
I don't
what
think
it
No,
it
is.
fits.
you guys are. I am a normal millennial. I am not at that older cusp.
Yeah.
I am not
Yeah.
geriatric.
Are you?
But we all have
Okay.
like, young adults, even in our old age.
Mhm.
The first one that does come to mind is Hunger Games, but there's also Twilight's, right?
Maze Runner.
Maze Runner, yeah.
I
There's a pretty good
mean,
SNL sketch about that.
God.
Divergent.
Hunger Games definitely. Oh God,
Divergent's a good one.
Maze
I
Runner
love
and Divergent they only exist because of the Hunger Games. There was a whole
Yep. So
revolution.
yeah, that was
like,
the trendsetter for sure. Yeah. Hunger
yeah,
Games.
post-apocalyptic.
I actually read all those. They were pretty good to me. They really hit hard on the PTSD stuff and the horrors of war and autocracy and all kinds of crap like that. The movies, sort of, to me, they kind of hit some good topics. They left out quite a bit. And I didn't even bother with the third movie or the fourth movie. There was a fourth one, right?
What? Yeah,
No.
they did like a.
No. The third was broken into two pieces.
The third was
Right.
rated
Part
good.
one.
Yeah, so I didn't even
Yeah.
bother with those two movies. I
But they're so good.
I like some.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
They
The
might
first
be.
one. The
They
second
follow
one, I
the
like the
books pretty
concept.
well.
The second one, I like the concept of like the clock. We're all on a clock. Once they figured it out, I was like, oh, that's a cool concept or whatever.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
don't think. I think it all felt so rushed in even though they made part one and part two, that you didn't get to see any of the cool shit in any of the districts that are in the books. You know, like the lumberjack people actually have like a decent amount, like a good 10-page run in the book. And it's like their 10-page run is like a 30-second scene, if that, or maybe like 8 seconds of them coming down the tree. And it's like, oh, that's that cool ass tribe that you get to see. They're gone now.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
like one-
sacrifice a lot.
Wanted
Yeah.
to know a little bit more.
Well,
Also,
what
I
comes
did
to
not
mind for
eat
me
Peta
is-
at all.
You did
No, I
not
was
get
gonna say, I didn't
that?
eat Peta. No, I wanted him to go away forever. And it's
Well, he's the
it's
same
not,
with the book.
it's literally like I was like the actor's portrayal of Peta too. Like, oh man, I'm really good at painting myself. I can paint myself as
Yeah,
characters and
Sam.
rocks, and I'm a good
Yeah.
hater. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
no, Peter, you're strong. I make bread, Katniss. Like it was. I don't know. That whole character was
Bread boy.
annoying.
I'm a big
I
bread
was
boy.
like, that whole character could just get lost.
Well, Jess has an alternate opinion. What do you think?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it followed the books as well as it could, depending on the time. You guys mentioned Divergent. I am still, to this day, pissed off that they never finished the series on screen. I'm still mad
Oh.
because what they were going to do is they were going to move it from movie to TV, and the show never got made. And I'm so mad about it because, spoiler alert, Triss died at the end of Divergent, and it follows 4 and his story a little bit more after that. But I'm super pissed off about it still.
What category are we in still, Josh? Really quick.
Young adult.
What was your
Young adult.
young adult? So Shailene Woodley, which I can't decide whether or not I like her. Like it's really weird. It's like she's like my she's my new Maggie Gyllenhaal, where she's really great sometimes, and you're like, wow, she's really good, and then other times you're like, wow, she's really annoying and bad. It's like that's so Shailene Woodley, I feel like is my new Maggie Gyllenhaal, where I can't decide whether or not I like her in movies. Like, do I like her in this as an actress or do I not? But anyway, that's not even her first young adult adaptation. The Fault in Our Stars was a book.
So she made the first Divergent, and then Fault in Our Stars, and then the second.
I think you're wrong. I think Fault in Our Stars came out first.
Let's take a 40-minute break.
I don't think so.
No, we're
It's
not
not
going to do that.
IMDb right now. He's cheating.
Because I want to hear Mark's opinion, but Mark did what I was going to do while I gave him a chance to talk, and he looked it up. So now I'm going to filibuster, and I'm going to say, what was the hot young adult movie when we were coming up that was a book adaptation? Josh, do you recall? Because
I don't know about.
I don't remember. Did we?
I'm not sure if.
Harry Potter. I know, but that's not a young adult. That's like fantasy. So did we?
Well, it
like,
counts
Harry
though.
Potter,
It counts. It counts.
That was the one for our generation. Like that was it. Like when we all got into high school and middle school and shit. Like that's what we.
Yeah. What do you say? No, it doesn't count as a young adult.
She's younger than us. I'm trying to think of
younger.
like when we were in high school.
You guys are old asses.
Well, yeah. I think the first Harry Potter dropped when I was in 6th grade, maybe 7th.
Yeah.
But when I was a child, I was gonna say it doesn't really count as hot for me, but Indian in the Cupboard was a big one for me when I was a boy.
Yep. That was a big one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That is a good one.
That had a
Problematic
movie
title.
sequel.
Hook.
Yeah.
Hook.
Okay, Mark, what was the consensus? What was the answer?
So, Fault in Our Stars came out in June of 2014. Divergent came out in March.
Of 2014?
Yes.
So Jess was right.
You got like 3 months. 3 months.
I was still right because she did the first Divergent, and then she had to shave her head for Fault in Our Stars, which is why she has shorter hair in the second movie.
Gotcha.
And now,
I just remember
where does it fit in?
hated
The other movie she did about Snowden. Where's that fall in there?
Oh, yeah.
Josh, what was the movie with Mandy Moore that was the exact same as The Fault in Our Stars?
Walk to Remember.
Yeah. That's why. So that's why these movies stand out to me, because I was sitting here and I couldn't remember the name. So thank you. But I was sitting here I was like, man. So they're just literally gonna remake the Mandy Moore movie where she's dying of cancer, and we're just gonna do it almost verbatim. Oh wait, someone wrote a book called The Fault in Our Stars. That's exactly a Walk to Remember, and it's I don't know.
Well, it almost
but A Walk to Remember is also based off of a book.
Yeah, they're both books.
What's that?
A Walk to Remember is also based off of a book. It's by Nicholas Sparks.
Oh my gosh, I was about to go. Was it by Nicholas Sparks? And sure enough, it just seems like a Nicholas Sparks thing.
Oh, he does it. He does all those sad shit.
Yeah. He is to those romantic genre, like I love you. No, you don't. Shut up. Okay, I do.
But really, I do.
Tom Clancy is to spy and war movies.
Yeah.
Or Grisham is to like The Firm type movies.
Oh, look at me! I know authors.
Yeah.
But yeah, good young adult. I guess we're inevitable. Are we going to put Harry Potter and Twilight's for fantasy, or going to talk about it now? Because I think it's inevitable.
But
right?
Twilight's definitely young adult, I think. Like, it is
Twilight
a fantasy.
was the one.
That was your one, Jess?
Yeah, Twilight was the one, because I remember reading that in math and like homeroom. People were like, "What are you reading?" I was like, "Oh, it's Twilight. It's so good." And it was like 2000, whenever it came out, 2005. And I was in high school, so that was the one.
The movie was when I was in the Air Force.
Years later.
Oh, the book.
The
okay,
book
came
out.
I thought well, we're doing adaptations, so I apologize. I thought you were referring to the movie. So
No, I read the book.
Yeah, the theme of the day is not interrupting. The theme is books to screen.
So I read the book in like 2005 or 6, I don't remember. Yeah. And then when the movie came out, I was so excited. Like, I think I went and saw it 3 or 4 times in theaters.
Was it really that fast, Jess?
Yeah.
It was really that fast. It was like the book came out in 2003 or 4, and then it came out again in 2007, 8.
7-ish.
I don't remember the time, but I remember loving it. I reread them recently. Not good. But as a high schooler, I loved them. Perspective changes a lot of things.
Demographics a big deal for a lot of things in general. And when you're, I'm sure, 13-ish, 14-ish, like hormonal and stuff, you know, I mean, we all are guilty of, I used to love Hanson. Anyway.
Used to.
Problematic 123-year-old vampire likes a 17-year-old girl. That's cute. Anyway.
That happens. You mean an interview with a vampire? Like,
no, that happens
same
in
difference,
Twilight.
But in Twilight.
And then Werewolf falls in love with Baby.
No, not an interview. There was no love story in the interview.
I can't talk about age gap romances. I read fae books, so there's always like 500 to 1,000 year difference between
but that's a little different in general with a fae versus a vampire, because a fae is like childlike in general.
No,
they're alive.
Not my fae.
Oh, well, they're like in general. I mean, you might disagree because you're currently reading a book about them, but in all the lore that I've read with like role playing games and stuff, like
let's get weird.
It's not necessarily they're childlike. It's like they're
mischievous.
emotionally driven, like extremely emotionally driven. Vampires
definitely.
The vampires don't.
Vampires are definition of groomers.
I think Edward. No, I think this is actually an interesting conversation, right, Mark? Because I think the argument can be made that Edward was grooming Kirsten Stewart's character in Twilight.
So why is he? Why is he obsessed with staying in high school? And I think there's an in-story reason, which is like because he was turned at that age, emotionally he stays at that age. But it's like it doesn't work in any capacity. Like you don't you would learn about how the world works. You wouldn't. Emotional maturity doesn't have anything to do with like your brain shape. It has to do with like your experiences and like how things change. So
maybe he's emotional like a 17-year-old would be for the rest of his life, but he still gains wisdom and shit.
The sense of awareness would still be there. Like you would be aware of right and wrong by that point in your life. So
from my perspective, like as someone who hated high school, like I wouldn't stay in high school for 100 years anyway, despite the fact if I had the emotional maturity of like a high schooler. So what the fuck is he doing? It would make a whole lot of sense.
As far as accuracy goes, Jess, like book to movie.
First 3 were pretty spot on, but the last one, I remember sitting in the movie theater where the scene where Carlisle's head gets cut off, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is not in the book. What is going on? Like, I was panicking. I was like, they completely ruined everything. And then, like, and you ruined it. And I was so mad. But
can you put us there? Can you put us there? Like, can you like vividly remember? Like, bring us in and let us know. Like, what you saw this in the theater. Right?
I was sitting there and I was like shaking and I was like tearing up because when I get mad, I start to cry. And I was just like looking at my friend and then looking at the movie, like, what the fuck is happening? What is this? Like both of us were
awesome.
Like, what is going on?
I love hearing that. I love hearing that.
That's amazing.
mad. Like I'm like you can't see it, but like my face is still getting like flushed because I'm still pissed off about that choice. Jerks. It was a money grab. It was a money grab. It pissed me off.
Of course, you're much like vampires. They're predating on like the most vulnerable type of person, the teenager. Like, it's like you can make so much money off of teenagers by like, having like sexy people. Well, exactly. I think one of my favorite facts about that movie series is that like Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson both fucking hated working on those movies. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Like, and you can just kind of tell.
I'm just gonna be that guy right now. Both of those actors need to get over themselves. That's it. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, no one would know who the hell they are without those movies. And Robert Pattinson, get over yourself. Kirsten Stewart, get over yourself.
Even like, Anna Kendrick is like, it sucked. I hated working on that movie.
Yeah.
She's the same with Pitch Perfect. Though.
I'm sure they're also grateful, though.
We should have made 3. We should have just made, the first Pitch Perfect and left it alone. And it's like, yeah, but you made that choice. Like,
I'm sure they're not mad. I'm sure they're not mad at the paycheck and recognition. But you can also like be, because I'm extremely critical of everything creative that I make. Like, that was garbage. I shouldn't have done that.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I am too. No, I get that from this podcast. I get mad at myself a lot. Josh, I know you are going to be like me when you start editing, where you're going to get mad at yourself and like, ugh, like that, because that's just that it comes with it. But in that vein, let me do some production jobs here really quick. I'm going to ask a couple questions and then we can move on to the next topic. Josh, since it's a little out of our age group, which out of the ones we mentioned for this category, we got Hunger Games, Twilight, Maze Runner, and Divergent. Which one was most appealing to you?
The only one I really gave a crap about was Hunger Games.
All right, and you actually read those books.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Mark, same question. Like out of those 4 that we brought up, I think they're the most popular over the last probably 15, 20 years. What one really appealed to you?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I really gave the Twilight movies a chance. I did not read the books, but I had like girlfriends who did, and I thought the movies were really good up until a point. I think like for the time, as somebody who's into sort of like the more horror side of fantasy, it was really cool to see like action-packed vampires. It's really cool to see like giant wolves. So I was super into that. As far as like adaptation goes, I couldn't give a shit less. But I thought the movies were really okay up until a point. And then Hunger Games, as like a little punk rocker, I think anything that shows some sort of like declaration against the system, I thought that was really cool personally. Like as I was
you said I'm as a little punk rocker, and the first thing that came to mind is in that movie, in the adaptation, you get to see Lenny Kravitz
Isn't it weird
as like
how Lenny Kravitz
like dressing the
character.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm still here.
It was so weird seeing Lenny Kravitz. That was strange. It's like, this isn't a Super Bowl halftime show. Like,
let's just change everything. Now we're doing Lenny Kravitz.
It's so weird. Okay, never mind. I'm not going off topic, but Lenny Kravitz, I could do a whole episode on him. But I love that he showed up. Both Twilight and Hunger Games, I love that it was kind of like the jumping off point, like you said, for like some really great actors and actresses. Like, and I think all things considered, like both of those stories did it as well as they should have, and I think it showed like what some problems were with like how Hollywood adapts and things. Well, do we go towards the source material and make it interesting and exciting, or do we kind of go like towards what the trends are to make people like excited, and how do we sell more? And I think I'm going for Twilight because I love that it made like 15 years of memes. Like there's so much.
That's an interesting point though
about Twilight on the internet that I love.
Werewolves
and
are better.
Twilight all the way. Team Edward. Wait, no, Team Jacob.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I always side with the werewolves.
So I want to say this. Oh, sorry. I want to say this. There's a real weird thing that happened about the werewolf things is that like there was this huge response to like there not being Stephanie Myers did not like consider the Lakota tribe when she was writing that book. And so there was a lot of backlash. It's like, did you study these people? Did you do anything like that? And it was a negative thing at first. And then it actually like the Twilight books helped the Lakota tribe claim back some of their land in Washington. Like Obama made this like executive decision to give the Lakota tribe back some of their land. And it was specifically because of the social presence of the Twilight series. I don't want to give Stephanie Myers that credit, but it did happen.
Oh, I just wanted to, just so briefly, you said actors getting a chance to break out. That is stuff. Cool. If you were a young actor, you were just going to be in a teen movie. And if you were a beautiful woman, you were just going to be someone's boyfriend. And now you have a chance in these young adult movies to overact and be something besides the romantic interest. And that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So, Jess, I think the one, like, just getting a lot of your responses was Twilight, right? Your answer would be Twilight?
Oh, I liked Hunger Games way more. Hunger Games.
No, but which one were you the most invested in as it came in? Like,
different ages when I read both of when I read them and watched them, because like I read Twilight in high school, so like obviously I wanted to watch that movie for nostalgic purposes for the Hunger Games, and I went and saw it on the weekend. Every single movie, just I love it so much.
Okay, yeah, I will say Hunger Games
is just
Hunger Games started out like that for me, but I think if I was to be really, really honest, I really got turned off by like the first part one of the third book. And then Maze Runner, I was actually fully invested in all the way through. And I think the same thing happened to me too. Like in the trilogy, as the third Maze Runner hit, I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
But the first two, I was like, man, this is fun. I can get into this.
Favorite
so the visual sense and all that.
I can't see it because my lighting in here is all weird.
So is this fictional world adapted to movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting.
It has to be towards movies because these books aren't made into movies yet. So.
You're gonna have to do one that was actually a movie, not the one that exists in your imagination currently.
Those are the best movies, though. Those movies do everything.
That's what I'm saying.
All the
That's why I jumped all over what she was saying, Mark, because I was like, you can't use your imagination and
I want to say, I want to say middle.
No,
I want to say Middle Earth.
We cultivate a movie.
But then I think about like, if I was just an average Joe who lived in Tolkien land,
Josh, go
I would just be a farmer. You know what I mean? Or a barkeep. Like it's not. It wouldn't. The average person is not having a great time in Middle Earth. You're not traveling and all that shit. So I think. Honestly, Harry Potter land is probably the most fun place to be, if you really think about it.
Yeah, because if you think, like, I don't want to go to Westeros. Yeah. I'm going to either die, I'm going to get assaulted,
you can
sexually assaulted,
to happen to me. So, at least in Harry Potter universe, I have magic.
Yeah, and never have to do
here. Harry Potter it's essentially it's here. It's just there's an alternate.
I think that's the bigger pay.
It's adjacent.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, right.
It's here adjacent, right?
I don't know.
I've got a question. No, I've got a question based on that. Josh, would you be a straight wizard? Would you be a mix, or would you be a muggle? So would you be a pure blood? Would you be a mix, or would you be a muggle?
Both worlds, so I guess mix a mudblood.
No, you have a choice here. In this scenario, you have a choice. Okay, a mudblood.
What about a squib? The guys that live in the wizard land.
I want to be a muggle. Just muggle born.
Just straight muggle? Right. Okay.
So
muggle born.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, that can't. Just kidding. So squibs are actually wizard born, but they can't use magic.
Can't use magic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm honestly, after hearing that, I'm kind of like pointed towards the squib thing because it's like people have no expectations of you. You get to do some like real mundane shit. Like what's his name at Hogwarts?
Yeah.
What's his
Hagrid?
No, Filch. Yeah, he was a squib.
Yeah.
He was a squib, and like he had to do some like weird. He had to do some gross shit.
Right.
But like
they just kept him around.
He probably had to do less than, as somebody who worked in janitorial, he probably had to do less than me because there were magic solutions to pretty gross problems. Yeah. And it's like I think about like the best case scenario, you get to live in this like wizard utopia where everybody's accepted. But it's like if Voldemort wins, like they're not going to kill the squibs because like they, you know, they'll just be there to do the real mundane tasks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's true. Exactly. And I think I would probably otherwise go down.
They
be
just
like
sat
a
on the floor
Muggle-born because it's like,
speaking of,
if you
like that's the
wasn't there a
biggest
whole
plot
thing
hole
in the series about
series.
like how they didn't
The
know
biggest
how
plot
to
hole
use
in the
like
whole series.
toilets for
There's
the
a
longest
whole,
time.
like, let's say at least a third of the school knew the real human
I
world.
am right
world.
now.
So Voldemort's taken over the school, right? One of those little wizard boys and girls knows where to find a gun. Shoot Voldemort, game over. Like AK-47, he can't defend it. It's in book 3, Voldemort's dead.
That is the essential problem is that like wizardry is not like this it shouldn't fantasy writer opinion here. Wizardry should not be like an alternative thought. It should be an understanding of the world, of the entire world, plus this extra knowledge. Like Voldemort has taken over this particular patch of land. Well, we have nuclear missiles and there's nothing that you can fucking do about it, Voldemort. It's ridiculous.
Mark, I'm gonna need you to write fan fiction of this and put it on AO3 so I can read it. You could do that.
SEAL Team 6 meets Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah, you got it.
I would also probably be Muggle-born, but I couldn't help myself because Mark has this underdog persona. And then we did. I mean, it's funny because there's a theme for Mark throughout this episode because I didn't really like high school, so I wouldn't go back to high school. And then he immediately relates to the squib persona in Harry Potter.
That'd be a good
and now I've got Mark writing like this feature-length wizarding film, Squib, an underdog story.
I don't mean to shit all over J.K. Rowling, but it's like all the things she could write. Oh yeah, let's do it. Fuck her. But she would make a ton of money writing that book about the squib in the wizarding world because Harry Potter was the normal kid who got to go be like
and how cool
wizard
that
football jock.
Because he lives in
write
the
that
world.
opposite story. Oh no, I'm a normal person.
And like everyone looks down on you or pities you.
Like,
and you're like,
that's a great book. Oh my god.
And you guys aren't looking at me because you don't.
It might exist.
And meanwhile, I'm taking over the goddamn school.
Imagine a book where there's like everybody is used to dealing with things with magical solutions, and this guy can just like outsmart them by like think about like the dude who like learns sleight of hand in the fucking wizarding world. And
now we have to mention Chris Angel in every episode.
Chris Angel.
Yeah.
Oh God! How'd you do that?
It's you gotta magic. Like I got your nose to Voldemort like that would just fuck him up, dude.
Nose abracadabra.
Yeah.
Sorry. So really quick because we should pull another one so we can keep these moving along. But I want to get everybody's world as fast as we can.
What I
was gonna say in line with what Mark was saying here in England, I'm not sure if Jess experienced this in the bookstores here. They have literally whole sections dedicated to Harry Potter and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Like whole sections of bookstores. So that book may exist. Dude, there's even the little bookstores. Yeah, even the littler bookstores, they have like whole sections dedicated to Harry Potter. It's ridiculous.
Lord. It's a phenomenon.
So Josh,
dude, I mean,
you went with Harry Potter world. Jess, really quick, what world do you think was would you most live in that went from book to
Harry Potter? I would die everywhere else.
Okay. All right. Mark, and you as well?
So Josh kind of mentioned this, but the one that I wrote down is my favorite world. I don't know if it's a world that I want to live in, but my favorite fantasy world as far as adaptations goes. I thought that the Lord of the Rings books did a fantastic job of adapting Middle Earth, making it seem realistic. It didn't seem like something that you would look at and be like, I don't really understand how this works. There's not like flaws in logic. I love seeing the society of like the elves. I love seeing like the dwarves. It's such a cool world, and it makes it seem like, I mean, as far as you want to go with like Tolkien knowledge and stuff like that, it seems so cool. And I think it does like a really great job of like humanizing otherwise inhuman like races of creatures, even down to the orcs. It's like you make orcs sympathetic in a particular way. I really like Tolkien's world, and especially as it is adapted. Right, he was obsessed, dude. He was obsessed.
We can talk about this for a very long time, guys. But I want to get to another topic because we're at about 33 minutes.
Let's
do it. But I'm gonna throw you guys all off, and I'm not. It's not even the movies. The show's pretty good on Amazon too. And like I said, like I just found out how expansive this.
You're right.
I'm not because it's not just Josh's ramblings, but also I listened to a podcast with a girl that's like obsessed with it. It's going to be nostalgic for me. And the first
very good. That's a good one.
Was the Lost Boys in the Hook adaptation, like the Hook version with Robin Williams.
That is a good one.
Cool. I like that. That's a good answer. Yeah, good answer.
Josh is regretting telling you don't matter.
Yeah.
that was just the first one that popped in.
If it was true to the book, though, you would have
been a really cool world to live in. Is that like the Lost Boys world in Hook?
Well, that would be cool to live in. Well, that would be.
Yeah, he killed people that grew up.
I was going to say it'd be cool to live in until it's like you realize that the only way you survive is if you just listen to whatever this twink boy has to say. Like you just,
But also, you have to have a great imagination. You have to have a great imagination. But if you do have a great imagination, you could legitimately eat whatever you want, whenever you want, have whatever you want. You just have to believe in it.
Very good.
Oh shit. Well, fuck it then. Narnia, where it's like your best friend is literal Christian God, and whenever you're like, "I'm sad, Aslan, I don't know what to do," he'll just like cough up a sword that like cures the common cold and shit.
Aslan, Mark, and
I'm sad.
This is the last thing I'm going to say on this topic, so Jess can pull a new one. But the last thing I'm going to say on this is, Mark, when you get bored of that world or when you get in too much turmoil or trouble, just walk through a closet and you're good again.
Well, I don't want to get into it because it's even more than that. Because in I think it's The Magician's Nephew, they reveal that world is one of millions. So you don't just walk out of a wardrobe; you can walk out of Narnia, and there are a million different worlds to walk into. Like it's so weird because like C.S. Lewis, he said like, I'm so sorry because it was before the wardrobe was made. The kids in that book were jumped into one pool of like hundreds of thousands and ended up in Narnia. And the implication there is that like, Narnia was one of hundreds of thousands of different worlds that you could teleport to. Yeah, so it's like cool. I don't know. We've gone way off topic.
Just as you pull this, pull this next one. Fun fact about that: the writer of the Golden Compass hated the writer of the Chronicles of Narnia, and those are feuding novels.
Yeah, I hate him too.
Well, Jess, why don't you start? Because is it Twilight for you?
Future. My most anticipated book to TV screen adaptation is A Court of Thorns and Roses. It is in development. The author is working with a screenwriter, and they have already written the pilot. It is the first book is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling where she gets taken to this Fae world. And there's like elements of like Hunger Games and Divergent.
Love that.
And
that sounds
then,
great.
like,
I can't
the
wait.
second book has like Hades and Persephone thing.
I can't wait
and
to
the third one
watch the show or movie
War.
and then
so
say, I'm going to read the book sometime. And then guess what?
Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
No, but yeah, I might put that on audio actually. Sounds good.
Never read it.
That's what
Pick
these
up
books
the details
are.
From
The red over.
Ooh.
They actually have an audio version by Graphic Audio. So
Sandman's like that.
You can hear like the footsteps crunching the leaves, like the pullback of a bowstring. There's like music.
Dude.
It is beautiful. Like
I love sound effects.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's
networks.
Yeah, they're all on Audible. They're on Scribed. I definitely recommend that version.
Yeah.
Rival networks.
My big one.
It's on Graphic Audio first, but
I'll go.
it's hard to buy the books on Graphic Audio, so they moved it to other platforms to make it easier.
Because
what was yours?
I read those books.
Go ahead, Josh.
They're so dense.
Yeah, go Josh.
It's sometimes hard to read. I never finished the series. I got 80% of it finished. But I had to reread the whole series because I was in the middle of a book. And I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I had to reread the whole series to get the whole gist of it again because there's so much world building and deep knowledge and all this stuff. And the show, when it finally came out, was pretty dang accurate. For the most part, they merged some things and cut some things out that made sense. And people have complaints, but they did a great job thus far. And I can't wait to see what's next. Like Wheel of Time, one of the better series ever in books for me. So good.
I never read the books,
with the
but
Aes
we would
Sedai,
watch
the
it
different
every
colors of the Aes
single
Sedai,
week when it
and
came
then
out because
the main people
my
who
husband
have
and
the
I love
things
fantasy shows.
They accelerate some
just
storylines, and I think it's for the best because
one.
it's a really slow, drawn out book. It's beautiful visually and everything. It's a wonderful, wonderful series, and they're doing a good job.
November 2022 is what they say for season 2.
Oh, dang, that's soon.
That's
the first,
couple
the first season and first book
it said
are kind of like the
early
author
November
is
2022.
It's kind of an homage to Fellowship of the Ring, but from there it diverges into its own story. So, like season 2 is where it's about to get real, and I'm excited.
Mark, what was your most
awesome.
anticipated?
My most anticipated moving forward, I am super stoked that they are going to do a second series of Good Omens. Good Omens season 1. So first of all, Good Omens is my favorite book of all time. Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I fucking love that book. That book is yes, absolutely. That book is like that. That book inspired me to be a writer. So and it inspired my particular like taste in fiction. To see that it was adapted for television. At first, I was like, oh no. But it was awesome. The first season was awesome. To hear that they were doing a second season,
Gaiman's
I was
so
like,
good.
oh no. But then for Neil Gaiman to be like, well, Terry and I had worked on a sequel and we're going to put it into this second series.
Ooh, me too.
That makes me
too.
Excited.
I changed mine.
So I'm super excited for that.
I changed mine.
Can I change my answer for world?
Stardust.
Because I would love to live in the world of Stardust by Neil Gaiman.
Damn it, I have Stardust in my notes. Let's go to Stardust. We're living in Stardust. Oh, thank God. Yeah. And then I'm gonna find Michelle. I'm gonna find Michelle Pfeiffer.
I gotta be honest. I don't.
What's for breakfast? That's what I anticipate.
It's hard to get me towards like huge anticipation now anymore.
Anticipate.
Yeah. Exactly, Mark. Exactly.
Okay.
But no, I'm so interested in living life in the moment and not like waiting. I like to take things as it comes. And
there you go.
I would say like honestly,
that
what am I
counts.
like? It's probably a comic book something. Like what
that
am I most
counts,
anticipating?
Yep.
I'm really excited for the reboot of the 1990s X-Men cartoon. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Mark has an opinion.
I'm very excited about it. But if I was to do books,
done with that shit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're supposed to the Claremont series. Yeah,
they're supposed to stay along with the original storylines that were provided in the 90s. So hopefully they do it. Hopefully they don't screw it up. But
fuck yeah.
In line with the 90s, I don't know. I watch them all on Disney Plus, man. I watch all those cartoons. But I would say that the last time it was honestly it's probably Harry Potter, but I'm trying to deviate here so we don't talk about the same shit over and over again. Goosebumps, man. When the Goosebumps TV show came out, I was so myself a little kid. Okay. Well, not the movie, brother. Yeah. I'm talking about the TV show. When they were doing each book into an adaptation of a TV show, I would go home from school and just be like, when's the next one on? I wouldn't miss an episode, bro. And if it was a rerun, I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck is this? I came all the way home from school as fast as possible. You throw on one you just threw on last Tuesday. What the shit is going on? You know how many books R.L. Stein is
wearing a diaper covered in ragu.
Like, that's where
I still picture Friday as a child with the beard.
It's not even like those episodes where you could make that shit in 2 days. Like,
monster again? No.
Oh yeah.
No,
they're terrible.
I was just
I was
talking anticipation, and I really want to put myself in like when was I very excited for a book that I had read to be turned into something? I was like, that was probably it. That was probably my peak. As a kid, you read these. You're just like, I'm so excited about this.
That's also coming from a place of like. That's also coming from a place of like waking up on Monday and like Saturday is so far away. I could talk about Saturday morning cartoons and like TV spots forever. The anticipation for that, like, I totally agree, 100%. I agree, but it's so funny because like that exact energy, they went and they thought that they could make a movie about that, and like, the movie was fine. But it's sort of like it sort of entails a bigger problem of like, man, we're not going to make movies for adults. We're going to make movies for adults that still have like little kids inside them, and then those movies kind of suck. Like,
the Jack Black thing as R.L. Stine was rough,
but I still eat spam.
It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, I went into it with super low expectation.
Shit, right?
I was like,
and you have to play Time Crisis 3 at least
but
once.
That's the problem is when something is fine when you're an adult, it kind of sucks because
the one in Colorado
you're not hoping for something that's
There's
fine.
a new one where
you're
there's
hoping for something that's awesome because when you're a kid, things are awesome. Anyway,
favorite adaptation of a drama.
Oh, balls!
Yeah, dramatic book. I've got.
That's Fight Club for me.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
This was the one.
That's a good one.
You got Fight Club too, dude. Fight Club.
I watched that movie.
So Fight Club made me read the book.
I think I made Fry watch that, right?
Okay, go to Kiss Kiss.
Yeah, I didn't read the book, but because it's very, very hard to find. It was like a short story within an anthology that was written in like the 70s, and it's very, very
Fight Clubs. Yeah. Actually,
but
Mark,
I think it's
you can go. You can run with this, but I wanted to say the same thing happened to me. But movie
Kiss,
made
Kiss,
me
Bang,
read
Bang.
the book.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
You come talk to me and tell me how much you like me. You have to just fuck my friend. One of my favorite lines.
Robert Downey's one of the most underappreciated actors of our time because they're always going to
not anymore.
Well, no, I mean they're always going to look at him as Iron Man because of the drug addiction period, right?
He's the bad guy.
That he had to get over.
Dumbass.
And I hate that because some of his best flicks, but some of his best flicks ever were during that period. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
So speaking of that, like a great book adaptation starring Robert Downey Jr. that a lot of people will not enjoy because it's weird is A Scanner Darkly. That movie fucking hauls ass. A Scanner Darkly, top 10 movies. Robert Downey Jr. basically playing. I think Robert Downey Jr. realized he was like, man, I'm a recovered like alcoholic and drug addict. Like maybe I should play that for a couple years. A Scanner Darkly was the first instance of him doing that, and he nails it. Paranoid.
I've seen that one.
So
Me too.
Good. So good. And I think he took A Scanner Darkly's energy and went and made Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think he knew that,
that Iron
Man needed
too,
like that
really
addict, paranoid, like alcoholic energy. Like it did. And now he is the biggest actor of all time.
And they all hate each other.
I'm trying to think if it's still Sam Jackson. Someone might have passed him at this point as far as highest earners. Is he still?
Kind of.
I was trying to think. That's what I'm trying to think of. Is he still the highest grosser?
Yeah.
What were you saying, Jessica?
So you were saying Fight Club, Mark?
That's Fight Club. Saw the movie, loved the movie, was obsessed with the movie. Read the book. The book is great, and it helps you dissect exactly the intent of the movie, which there are a lot of people in this world who totally misinterpreted that movie. And I think it's like Chuck Palahniuk has been at like cons and stuff, and people will come up and talk about how much they love Tyler Durden, and Chuck will be like, he's the villain, and it's like the book that's like the book is fantastic, has a totally different ending. I think it's one of those rare occasions where the book and the movie are both incredible as separate artistic entities. I feel like the filmmakers in this day and age, I feel like what they did was they made a movie that was inspired by the book Fight Club and then just called it Fight Club. Like they are two artistically different movies, but they achieve the same goal through different artistic means. It's like if somebody made if somebody made a movie about House of Leaves,
I hate the word.
You would have to employ film techniques to do things that the book did, but you can't. I don't know. I could go on and on.
10 things I hate about
and I will say that
we'll probably talk about books again.
Oh, sorry.
Please. No, I have that book sitting on my shelf, and I am terrified.
This is my radio voice.
Not only because
it's been a pleasure. You can find me at J.R. Berkeley.
The text is all over the place.
Comment,
oh, House of Leaves. Oh,
yeah,
God.
I have it up there somewhere. Like, ugh.
It's not unreliable narrator. It's unreliable narrators. There's 4 narrators. It's a book about getting caught in a labyrinth, but the book is a labyrinth.
Mark, speaking of, if you adapted your book, who's playing your main character?
They could never ever adapt that movie. But right, you would have to disorient people, and I think like Fight Club did that so well. There's no talk of like Tyler like splicing in film. Splicing in frames one by one, but that's how you communicate that Tyler is like this supernatural being, and the book does things that the movie doesn't, and the movie does things that the book doesn't, and they both communicate the same thing, and it achieves the same ending, even though the endings are vastly different. It's just fucking awesome. So Fight Club is my pick for that.
I love that pick. We're gonna do lightning round here in a moment. I would probably say Fight Club as well. Fight Club introduced me to Ed Norton, who's like apparently a big dickhead.
Awesome.
And I hate that he's a big dickhead because I think he's an amazing actor. Like everything he's in, I'm like, man, that's so good.
Big dickheads make good actors.
Christian Bale.
So
yeah,
I will. Bale. Christian Bale is a big
Mark Swan.
What I will go with is I suppose Lovecraft Country on HBO, the adaptation to turn some of his writings into a TV show. I was very sad to see it didn't get a second season. I thought that show probably really helped Jonathan Majors become what he's about to become, because Jonathan Majors, people don't even realize this dude's about to blow up. He's about to be everywhere. You're going to see Jonathan Majors in every single movie that's coming out. Creed 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp,
right.
Any other Marvel movie that's coming out, Loki Season 2. Jonathan Majors is going to be everywhere, and in my mind, it's because Lovecraft Country was so well done as far as drama.
It was a good series for sure.
Yeah, I loved it. I was so into that whole world. I wanted to see where they took it next. It was kind of like The Watchmen, where you have like an alternate universe where like we are open about the racism that existed within this country, and we explore what happened if we were more honest, and what it could have led to if it had gotten worse and out of hand, and hopefully we can learn from these lessons and not repeat it, right? And I dug that story, and then plus you have all that supernatural shit going on, which is also cool. So Jess, what is our lightning round topic? I thought I was filibustering long enough.
I'm going to shake it this time.
I apologize. I thought I was trying to filibuster long enough.
Shakespeare adaptations.
Oh, balls. Me first?
Yeah, just
one
sentence.
Okay, Romeo plus Juliet, the late 90s adaptation with Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio, I think is a fucking phenomenal movie adaptation. I think a lot of people hate it for certain reasons. I love it for those reasons. Call guns knives. I think that's cool. John Leguizamo wearing the Virgin Mary vest. Awesome. Also, little known fact, that is the second movie in a trilogy, and it is so fucking good.
You get one sentence.
What?
You said filibuster. Here I go. Vote on Prop 161. No, I'm good. Romeo plus Juliet.
Just go.
That was my other one.
That's a good one. 10 Things I Hate About You, Tatum of the Shrew. Lion King.
The Lion King.
That was my third one.
All right.
Totally.
Josh? Oh, you want me to go?
10 things
Okay. I will go with O, with Mekhi Phifer and Julia Stiles, the adaptation of Othello. Yeah, that was done with the college or the high school basketball team. I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of interesting based on where I was in school. So, Josh, you want to take us home?
O is my favorite network.
You can find me at Bookish Nerdy Jess on Instagram and TikTok.
Hi, I'm Mark Andrew Swan. Look me up at deathandhumanresources.com. It's a brand new book. It's if you're a fan of Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett and fantasy and other bullshit comedy fantasy. Right now, the ebook is $3. Deathandhumanresources.com. Look it up on Amazon or your favorite retailer. Don't give money to Jeff Bezos.
You can also reach the show at the Sad Fan Cast on Twitter. If you want to comment on anything we do, all of our videos are posted to the Sad Fan Podcast Network, and we do have access to all comments on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So please reach out, talk to us, let us know how you feel. There was a foot. Thank you so much.